Hi, this is Paul Zeidler of the Lightning Rod Theater Company and our production of We Got Your Six. Um, if you want to find out more about the company, you can see us at our website at www.lightningrodtheater.com. And to learn more about We Got Your Six, please listen to this conversation. I I think I didn't fall in love with theater immediately. I fell in love with literature first, and it was one of the forms of literature that I eventually got into. I When I moved out here for school at USC, I began seeing a lot more theater productions back then. Like it was the mid '90s, early 2000s, and that was the heyday of the 99 seat scene. You could go and see great work by Justin Tanner over at the Cast. Gordon Davidson was still artistic director over at CTG down at the Taper. They were doing great shows, and it was for me. It became because I was a student at USC, I was able to get in all these shows, pretty cheaply. And what I liked about the theater is that there were so many shows in LA at that time, and you could kind of hear the culture talking to itself. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got so involved in it. I fell in love with writing and with literature because I was the oldest of four kids, born at like 5.5 years apart. And so it's not, but I was in the one who had to stay at home, take care of my brothers and sisters when my parents were at work. My parents were both academics, but they had very different schedules. So literature and writing was my way of rebelling. I couldn't go out and get drunk and hang out with my friends and get stoned like a lot of high schoolers do. So I had to find another way to rebel, and that was my rebellion. One of the better ones, I think. I'm attracted to playwriting because it's so immediate that once you're done writing it, you're calling up your actor friends and bringing actors in, and you're reading it, and you can tell right away whether it's good, whether that line worked, or whether something kind of sucks. Then when you get the immediacy of theater is that everyone is in the room and no one can hit pause, go get a snack. No one can go and turn it off if they don't like it. You're in there, you made a contract with them. I'm going to be here for the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours. Show me. You show me some. For me, it's like when I was a ovation voter, it was like, show me something new. Show me. I've driven through all this bad traffic to sit in a not very comfortable seat here in this 99 seat theater. Show me. And I like that risk. I like that dare, and I like to take that risk. I think the theater experience is unique for actors, is in that with film, for every shot in the film, you're probably just playing, like one sentence of the narrative. Where with theater, you're playing the whole story all night, and especially like a lot of my earlier stuff was long monologues, half hour, 45-minute, 1 hour monologues. And you're not just the actor in the role. You're playing the voices of other roles. You're also the story. You're the scene. You're everything. And that always really inspired me to, because your writing has to be really good in order to hit that level, to like an audience, to have, so it's an actor can deliver that story, can deliver those characters, can deliver that humanity to an audience, and the audience will sit there raptly in attention, and you're not hearing shifting in seats in a lounge from the back of it. Usually when you're the playwright or the director, you're in the back seat, and once you see the audience start doing that, you're like, so if you've gotten to that level, then I think for me anyway, I thought I really achieved something. My partner at Lightning Rod Theater, Charlie Pacello, is a veteran, and he's dealt with some PTSD issues. His father was a veteran who's dealt with lots of PTSD issues. And we've always, since we founded the company back in 2009, 2010, we've always had that component that we were going to, and Charlie's done a lot of research on how theater can be used, and the catharsis of theater can be used as a therapy tool for vets. And the thing is, the earliest playwrights were all veterans. Aeschylus, Euripides, they had all fought in wars. And one of the reasons theater started was to tell the civilian populace about the war, about the trauma of killing other people. And even though we're being cheered as we come back, there's a lot of pain involved with that too. So we have done, I would say a good number of shows on a military theme. Back in 2014, we did a show called Woof Woof, which was about a Iraqi war vet with a traumatic brain injury coming back home. And then Charlie has been getting involved. There's a real interesting network of small theaters. I mean, small veteran support groups. And while he had his radio show on in Denver, he was meeting and interviewing a lot of people. We've got the idea about having vets write monologues, and then we would have actors read them in a workshop production. And that was the first volume of We Got Your Six, which was about a year ago. And then after that was done, I realized we could take some of these monologues and kind of fit them into a narrative about Afghanistan and its aftermath, and have a really great, tight 1 hour ensemble piece about it. And so I started adapting. I adapted and I added a couple of these narratives. Others are written by some of the vets. Some of those has some of the original narrative by the vets. So it's like adapted by me and directed by me, and written, or the stories by me and the other vets, including an anonymous one. So it is, the present moment of the play is August 26, 2021. The moment of the bombings at Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, when 13 Marines were killed by 2 suicide bombers. And the 7 cast members in the play are all out of the military by now. And they're at the moment when they all find out about the bombings. One guy is going back to school shopping with his kids. Another one is homeless and living outside the VA on San Vicente Boulevard. And there's a wide variety of everybody. And the captain of the little Marine unit is trying to get their interpreter out of Afghanistan. And he's driven a long way to a State Department office in North Carolina, and has gotten there and found out that there's no one in the office. They've all been pulled to come back to DC to deal with all the visa applications. And so then we go from there back into a brutal firefight their unit had with the Taliban in 2011. And then we come back out again. Hollywood tends to give us just this one narrative of the vet recovering from PTSD. And there's a lot of variety in it. And there's also, some vets who handle it pretty well. I think also while there is violence and a firefight in this play, there's no pyrotechnics or anything. It exists in the memory of the characters from 10 years before. And that there's the way Hollywood presents, and the films present a battle, which is really spectacular, and I love that stuff. You can have a really great battle scene, and it's just amazing. It's very effective. But there's also the interior story of a battle, and I'm hoping that we get that on stage. And I hope that if the audience comes to see this, they will come out of the theater, pat us on the back, and tell us we have. I'm looking for the audience to be really involved, that no one's kind of like moving in their seat a little bit. I almost always sit in the back row, often because I'm also doing the house that night, and so I can help anyone who's coming in late. For me, it's just like, is the audience involved? Have they felt an experience different from any that they've had before? Though that's one of the reasons I think I went out and founded, Charlie and I went out and founded Lightning Round, was to tell stories and to tell and to do things on stage that we weren't seeing being done in other theaters, by other theaters, in American drama, and not in film or television either. I think that, how internal the fight, or how internal a battle is, or a firefight is, when military personnel are involved. That, there's moments where, they're just filled with adrenaline and all that, but then there's other characters who are kind of, retrospective about it as it's happening. They're recording and they're trying to understand what's going on, and I think that's probably the most interesting, one of the most interesting things we're doing. I think they should, because I think people should go to our play because it's telling a story that you're not going to be getting from a action film, or from the media, the journalism. And it's using creativity to show you the inner lives of military characters, some who've been in horrific battles, and others, and how they've tried to cope with it, and how they've survived up until 2021 anyway. Well, Lightning Rod, we made a real commitment to helping vets, and but I know a lot of other theater companies have reached out and have done a lot of support for incarcerated people, for the LGBTQ community, BIPOC community. These have, and the Latin community. That these have always been, the theater's always been like the first creative outlet, or one of the first creative outlets for a lot of communities in Los Angeles. And it's tougher now, so it's not as easy to go out and just put out that show. With getting your talent together now, you need to spend a lot more time getting the financials together. And without the participation of an audience and support from the community, a lot of the really creative people who are still coming to LA, who would find a space here, won't be able to. And really creative people who are here now won't have as much opportunity as they used to have. It's going to be, in one way or another, a yearly thing for us if we can get the ball rolling. And we're also doing the goal right now is to get to the point where we're doing a fringe show, a full run production, and then we're having our lightning in a bottle theater play development process. And so probably next year, We Got Your Six will be volume 3, I think. That'll be a workshop with actors reading monologues written by vets. And it's without, knowing your financials, you don't really know what you can do from year to year. So it's going to be, We Got Your Six is going to be a yearly thing for us. Whether it's going to be going into another fringe show, full-length show, something like that, we don't know yet. But next year will definitely be, we're going to have a workshop with monologues written by vets, performed by actors, like we had last year. And then hopefully we'll get enough money together to put on a full-length show. So then, yay, go Lightning Rod! Lightning Rod Theater. Lightning Rod Theater has been around. I mean, as the elephant kind of faded away, we started putting it together. And we've been here for a while, and we've been small. We've been like doing our thing, and we're trying to get to that next level where it's, like I said, a full-length show and a fringe show, and then a development process, a couple of development workshops every year. And that's kind of like the next level for us. For that, though, we're going to need a lot of support, and we would really appreciate it if you saw the Lightning Rod theater show, if you saw someone mention about it in publicity or something, if you come by and check us out. My name is Paul Hoan Zeidler. I am the adapter, writer, director of We Got Your Six, and we are Lightning Rod Theater, and we make it our passion to give you a theater experience that you won't get from anyone else. We will always be lightning rods.